To America now, but before I talk about my next story, let's list some of the internal problems of the US. Gun violence, police brutality, rampant racism, economic turmoil, homelessness. I could go on. But you know what America has chosen to declare war on? It's women, particularly their bodies and their agency over it. First, the facts. The state of Florida has voted to prohibit abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. It will be one of the most restrictive abortion laws, not just in the US, but in the world. Here's an example of how drastic it is. At 6 weeks, most women don't even realize that they're pregnant. Florida's existing law allows abortions up to 15 weeks of pregnancy. Just a year ago, it allowed abortions until 24 weeks of pregnancy. And what's the standard practice worldwide? Many countries allow abortion till 12 weeks on request and up to 24 weeks in cases of rape, incest, fetal impairment, and risk to the mother's life. In India, the limit is 24 weeks. Last year, in a landmark ruling, the Indian Supreme Court said that all women are entitled to a safe and legal abortion irrespective of their marital status. Now juxtapose this with what the US Supreme Court did in 2022. It overturned the landmark Roe versus Wade legislation. What is this law? It guaranteed access to abortion as a federal right in the US. It guaranteed the right to abortion to US women. The court struck it down. And with that one decision, the legal protection that women had in the US for 50 years was gone. So now each state can decide what they want. They can curb or ban abortion rights, and they're doing it. Cue Florida. This is what a Republican lawmaker in Florida said, and I'm quoting. For the past 50 years, we've had a culture grow in this nation, a culture of abortion for any reason at any time. Today, we stand for life. Now listen to what Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, said. He's a Republican presidential contender, and he said this a few days back.
This leftist agenda, the woke ideology, is a threat to our freedoms. Our bottom line is we do not surrender to the woke mob. Florida's where woke goes to die.
He's echoing what many Republicans believe, that woke is morally broke. This broadside is neither casual nor impromptu. It's an election soapbox to cater to their constituents, because the issue of abortion in America is a deeply political and divisive one. Now, just to clarify, we are no flag bearers of wokeism. Neither are we debating the political merits of Republicans or Democrats. We are asking some very fundamental questions here. Like, why is the US denying its women access to safe and legal abortion? The freedom to choose what to do with their own bodies. And Florida is not an isolated case. Last Friday, a judge in Texas revoked an FDA approval. FDA is the Food and Drug Administration. It's a regulatory authority for food and medicines in America. A Texas judge revoked its approval of a drug called mifepristone. And why is this significant? Because mifepristone is one of the 2 drugs used for medically induced abortions. Simply put, it's an abortion pill. So banning it would have far-reaching implications. But the US president and his deputy condemned the ruling.
My thoughts are it's completely out of bounds what the judge did. Thank you.
And for once, the Biden administration acted swiftly as well. They appealed to a higher court. The Texas judge's decision has been put on hold. So for now, the abortion pill remains available in the US, but with strict limitations. It's a small victory, but the big picture remains bleak for women in America. And at the heart of the debate are serious questions. Questions like, who decides for women? Do they or do lawmakers? Is procreation a personal choice or a political tool? Women having agency over their bodies, is it a fundamental right or a subversive thought? Do you know the gender of those making these critical decisions on behalf of women? Men, mostly white, middle-aged men. Most of the lawmakers who decided in Florida on the 6-week abortion ban were men. The Texas judge who banned the abortion pill, a 46-year-old white man. The tale of gendered oppression is as old as time. Former US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton made an impassioned speech in 1995 at a UN conference on women.
There is one message that echoes forth from this conference. Let it be that human rights are women's rights and women's rights are human rights once and for all.
It's 2023, but women in the so-called land of the free are still not free to make choices about their own bodies and, by extension, their lives. And the tragic irony is this: the US is more concerned about the unborn fetus than it is about the safety of its children. Because gatekeeping the gunmen running riot at American schools is a far tougher task than weaponizing women's bodies for political leverage. So when it comes to women, we say America is no better than the Taliban.